What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a new model in from Vosteed. Excited to check this one out with you guys. Let's jump into it. Well, we have finally got the Porcupine in on the channel. I know I'm a little late to this party, but I am really excited to check this one out. And this is a really cool variation of the Porcupine. Now, I will admit, I thought this was going to be a little bit smaller than what it is, but I'm very happy to report back that this is definitely a doable knife for folks like myself with larger hands. You do have a pill-shaped opening hole only, and you do have the top liner lock that Vosteed is doing, very similar to the smock lock, which is a button actuated compression lock. So I am very happy to report that. You got smooth micarta scales on here, very nicely done. You do have a little bit of height to them, so you got a nice chunky feel. They did make this reversible, which I think works fantastic with this button actuated top liner lock. And you have a steel fold over pocket clip, although I wish the nose was a little bit higher on it. I do find that I do sometimes in my regular jeans catch on the nose of that a little bit. If this were mine, I'd probably just take that and bend it up just a little bit. It just needs a tiny bit more clearance on there. I love the bronze that matches from the pivot collar to the blade to the lanyard post. I think that's a really nice touch, and I think it looks really good on here. 14C 28-inch drop point blade. It's very thin, guys. Very well done. Has a nice factory edge. Edge terminations way back here, so you're going to get tons of sharpening out of this one. You nearly have a 50% length dedicated choil. As you can see, I have plenty of space left over. That's why I say I think this one kind of works. It's like a little bit of a larger version of the mini growler that I own, so I'm really happy to report that. If you needed a choke back, for me, it's a 3.5 finger grip, and that's where I was a little worried about the size of this one. But for me, this is where it's at. This is the money grip. This is where I was using it when I went downstairs to test the edge, which it had a nice factory edge, even considering it's been in the past round. Very, very sharp. I went through the material nicely as well. Didn't do a ton of cutting with this one because, again, it's not my knife. It's past round. I just wanted to sample to see what it would feel like going through some denser material, and it did a great job. I'm really happy to report that. Again, that top liner lock, very easy to manipulate. I do love this. I wish Spyderco would just change all of their compression locks to the smock lock and put a button on them. I think it would be such a killer move for them to do that, because I truly have just really enjoyed excuse me, all of the knives that I've experienced from Vosteed personally that have this top compression lock on it. It's in a good position. I don't touch it. I don't run into it. I don't bump into it. I mean, it's perfectly placed on this one. A little bit further back, I'd love it to be a little bit closer, but they did explain that it compromises the strength a little bit. If you do move it forward, it'd still be a really strong lock, but they're going for maximum strength and ideal location. So really happy with the experience that I've had with this particular one. It does offer some jimping in the steel here on the liner, and that allows for grip without it being too aggressive or a hot spot. And then you have here that leads into the jimping on the back here for your palm to kind of have a little bit of grip on. I will say I don't necessarily feel that one. I feel this a little bit more, like noticing it, not that it's hot spot. And then I do like the jimping out here as well. You get way out on the tip, and you can really utilize and leverage this for that detailed work, even though the tip's a little bit higher than I would like. It does, again, allow you to grip and drive down that tip into whatever it is that you may be cutting on. Ceramic bearings in the pivot, steel liners, 14C 28N, great budget steel. I hope that they do one of these in LMAX. Just saying, Vosteed, I would probably be all over that one. Do some camo carbon, shred carbon fibers, do some red marbled or red shred, blue shred, and some marble carbon fiber on top of your steel liner here. I would be all over that. I know that tariffs are coming. Hate to bring that up. So I would hope that you would be able to do those steels and those materials and keep it around that $230 price point. I would personally love it. As is, this would be a great beater. Let's do some size comparisons, guys. All right, we're going to do my usual suspects first. We got the Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight, and we have the mini Nova here from Vero Engineering, and I think these are good size comparisons, but I have some more that I think will really help you guys. Here it is against the CJRB Echo and Pyrite Light. As you can see here, it is overall shorter than both, but when you look at the handle space versus that dedicated Ford choil, very similar to me how the Pyrite Light is set up. So the Pyrite Light to me is a smaller knife because when you're holding it from the back, for me, I hang off the back a little bit with that 4-finger grip. But with that Ford choil, man, I have plenty of space to grip onto this one, so I really do like that. That is kind of what's going on here with the Porcupine, which, again, I really like that a ton. I got a couple of non-knives, 4-size comparison that we're going to do, and then we'll weigh the knife. Apologies, I said non-knives. I meant non-locking knives. I have a modern traditional here, and then my SOG Power Pint. This could be a potential loadout for some of you guys, main, secondary, and then a multi-tool. That'll work for you. And then we'll go ahead and open up the Power Pint to give you, again, size reference. So a pretty good size, like bigger than mini Bug Out, but smaller than Bug Out. It's kind of like an in-betweener, if that makes sense. But let's grab the scale and check the weight on the Porcupine. Porcupine might be my favorite Vosteed. All right, scale out and on. This is probably like 3.6 or 3.8, somewhere in there. What? 3.3, lighter than I thought. Not that it felt heavy, it's just with full steel liners and a top liner lock knife with a nice blade size on here. I was expecting it to be over 3.5, but coming in at under actually bodes well better for this knife for me personally. That is pretty good. All right, time for final thoughts and impressions, guys. I grade on a scale of 1 to 10, but 7 is my cutoff for knives with budget-friendly material. What's that mean? It means if it's micarta, if it's G10, if it's FRN, G-Mascus, if it's 9CR, 14C28M, VG10, Nitro V, AR RPM9, those are all budget-friendly materials. It's not to say that they're not good. It's just usually when you find a knife with a super steel, you don't typically find it with those handle materials or with a steel liner. It's usually all titanium or maybe some aluminum variants out there or something like that. So it is a little bit confusing, so I do apologize for that. But having said all of that, what goes into it is the performance, both how it opens and deploys, closes, and cuts, the ergos, the aesthetics, and the price point on that. Having said that, all of this, considering that this top liner lock is a little bit more expensive to make, but it does have 14C28 in, I really do like this one. I'm actually thinking this might be my most favorite model from Vosteed, and that's really saying something because I do love the Psyop. I really like the top liner lock Raccoon. You know, they do have some real bangers, but this one now is really kind of battling for that top spot. So I'm going to go 6-7 on this one. The only thing that would have made it a little bit better is just a little bit nicer of a steel, even if you wanted to keep the steel in the micarta, but you wanted to throw LMAX on here, or if you wanted to throw S35 yen on here, I would have liked that a little bit better. 14C28N is a little bit more of what I call a higher maintenance steel. You want to strop it more often. It'll keep a sharp edge, but it can't keep a fine edge for very long. It'll get kind of toothy quick, and while you can cut through denser materials with that, this is a steel that I recommend that after you're done cutting harder, denser, thicker materials such as cardboard, etc., that you just drop it up and just keep that edge going. Even if you've laid back your own edge, that's where I would be at with this particular one. But man, really taken aback by the Porcupine, guys. This one really came out of nowhere from me for Vosteed. I even passed up on picking up my own with the option to wait my turn to take a look at it through the pass around because I didn't think I was going to like it this much. But what do you know? Let me know what you think about the Porcupine down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this one. I will definitely link it down in the description for you. It is an affiliate link that I have, so when you use those links, it helps the channel, and thanks to you that do that. It is totally up to you guys. If you enjoyed the video, definitely throw down a like for me. Definitely consider subscribing if you're not subscribed, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos, guys. Special shout out and thanks to my channel members. Okay, I'm out of here. I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.